Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Some very tough news for the president, the first lady, the president's family, and of course the nation itself here, as the president is tested positive for the coronavirus, the first lady as well. The news rolling out overnight. Here's sort of the chronology of events of how we discovered this. First, there was a report in Bloomberg that Hope Hicks, the campaign aide who is very close to the president, travels with him a lot, had tested positive for the virus. She was seen traveling with the president on Air Force One throughout the week, often photographed without a mask, Andrew, as we watch some of those pictures of Hope Hicks traveling with the president. A lot of senior aides and the president in close contact with Hope Hicks during the course of the week. The White House physician then, shortly after about 1 a.m. East Coast time, sending out a letter confirming the president's positive diagnosis as well, saying the president and first lady are both well at this time, and they plan to remain at home within the White House during their convalescence. So what we don't know at this hour, Andrew, is whether or not the president is symptomatic or asymptomatic. The physician says he and the first lady are well, but does not specify whether or not they are experiencing any symptoms. So we'll try to find that out as the morning goes on here in Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, overnight, I spoke to a former senior administration official who told me what the plan was in place if the president did test positive. That's the plan that they will now be rolling out here. And according to this former senior administration official, the plan was to have the president remain at the White House under very close medical scrutiny. In fact, the physician's office said last night that they will be consulting with outside medical experts as needed as they monitor the president's situation. But this would be similar to as if the president had the flu. He'd simply ride it out in the White House residence, but with strict staff access limitations. So the staff not necessarily going to be able to come into contact with the president. Not clear at this hour who, if anybody, will be in direct physical contact with the president and the first lady. We'll find that out as well. But this is a president, Andrew, as has been noted overnight, who has been conducting rallies. He's had a much higher tolerance for risk around the coronavirus than his opponent, Joe Biden, in this campaign. The president's been out throughout the country, throughout the week and the past month, conducting rallies with large crowds, with many people not wearing masks. And in fact, in that debate on Tuesday night with Joe Biden, the president mocked the former vice president for wearing a mask. Here's what he said.
I have a mask right here. I put a mask on, when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I wear masks when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
So a couple of pieces of information that we're going to need as the morning goes on. One is a statement from the Biden campaign of what their plan is in terms of campaigning, not campaigning, and also what Biden's status is in terms of the virus. Also, we have not heard from the Vice President, Mike Pence, in terms of his testing status. He did put out a statement on Twitter wishing the first family well overnight, but we have not heard from Pence's team yet that he has had a negative test, so we'll watch for that. Of course, there is a plan if the president were to become so sick that he is incapacitated and unable to fulfill his duties. There is a plan under the Constitution in the 25th Amendment under which he could simply write a letter to the president pro tempore of the Senate and also the Speaker of the House and turn over the duties and obligations of the presidency to the vice president and resume those whenever he feels better and can write a letter saying he's back in action. So that would be the worst case scenario here if we get down the road that far. No indication, though, that there are any symptoms at this time. So hopefully the president can just ride it out, Andrew. Back over to you.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.